In last class, I explained that is leadership element in directing. Today in this class, I am going to explaining you that is communication element. This is the last element in directing chapter. From this topic, you may expect totally 11 marks. 1 marks question is 1, 2 marks question is 1, and 8 marks question is 1 for the examination. In this topic or in this element, we are going to learning meaning of communication, elements of communication, types of communication, and improve that communication effectiveness. Let us learn more or in detail about the communication. Before learning of communication meaning, we have to know that where that communication word has been derived. The communication word derived from that Latin word that means communis. What is that communis? That means common. This common, the word of common, later on it has been implemented as common understanding. This is the history or background of communication, and communication plays a key role or important role of the success of any manager. How much the importance you are going to giving for the knowledge and profession or skills, like the communication also having the same important, because the manager has to give the clarity about his ideas, and the manager wants to achieve that organizational goal. That is the reason the manager want to communicate with subordinate. The subordinate has to understand what that manager has telling. That is the reason in a way that the communication plays a very important role in any organization. Let us learn the meaning of communication. The communication can be defined or we can express in a different way. Here the communication, according to this textbook, the communication is a process of exchange of his ideas, views, facts, feelings, etc. That means it is a process. What process? In this process they have that two persons, that is, one is we can call it as a sender and receiver. They have the two persons. The two persons, they are going to exchange their ideas by the way of communicating each other, or they can express also they can views and facts and feelings. Even this communication we can express in the word, or we can express in the symbols, or non-verbal, we can call it as a non-verbal, that is called feelings, etc. This is called communication. And also some definition will giving that different meanings, but this meaning you have to write it in the examination. Let us learn the element of communication process. This chart is showing that, or this picture is showing you that the element of communication process. This element you can expect for 2 marks in the examination. That means the element of communication, this process involves like sources, encoding, or receiver, or decoding, noise and feedback. This is all represented, I have given in the through the picture. First we can learn the sender. That means the person who will conveys his message or ideas to the another person. Another person call it as a receiver. It is called sender. Message. Next one, message. Yeah, that message is nothing but ideas, feelings, suggestion you are going to representing in the terms of word. It is called message. These are all called element of communication. And next we'll move on to the types of communication. In types of communication, we have the formal communication and informal communication. Let us learn in detail. First one is formal communication. This formal communication flows through official channels designed in the organizational chart. That means this formal communication is designed by the higher levels of management or top level of management. That means whom is to meet whom or in which way they have to communicate. If they have want to take any permission, like between the subordinate or between the manager or between the board of directors, this all should be prescribed or designed by the higher levels of management. And let us learn the more about the formal communication. In this formal communication, we can be classified as a vertical communication and horizontal communication. In simple, vertical communication flows vertically, upwards or downward. It is called vertical communication. For more understanding purpose, I have given that picture. That means this vertical communication may communicate or flow upward, like can just see that picture, upward or downward I have given. Here upward means the subordinate can talk with his superior. It is called upward communication. When coming to the downward communication, superior will give some orders to the subordinate. It is called vertical communication. This is called vertical communication. Next we'll move on to the horizontal communication, or it can also call it as a lateral communication. That means it takes place between one division to another. For example, I have given that picture. In an organization, we have the different department, they are working or they are operating. Between the department, they are going to communicating. For communicating, like example, production manager will communicating sales manager will communicating purchasing manager, like vice versa. Even if that purchasing manager will communicate sales manager will communicate production manager. It is called horizontal communication. In vertical communication, the communication will flows from only superior and subordinate. But in horizontal communication, the communication flows among the different departments. It is called horizontal communication. These are the different types of communication network you can see in the formal communication. That is first one chain, second one wheel, and third one is circular, next one free flow, and next one inverted. Let us learn in detail. First one, single chain. Single chain is nothing but very simple. This kind of communication will flows from superior to subordinate. It is called single chain. Can observe this here, the chain picture, chain image, that means A, B, C, D, E. That means the A is the superior. The superior will communicate with the subordinate. Here the communication between the superior and subordinate. It is called single chain. And next one, we have that wheel. That means the wheel is nothing but, you can just imagine the wheel image. That means how that wheel image, you can see that like that communication also will flows like a wheel. That means all the subordinate under one superior. Here we have that in the wheel picture, you can observe they have that superior A, subordinate like B, C, E, D, F, like all that subordinate will going to communicate with one superior. This we can represent it in wheel picture or wheel way. It is called wheel communication. This communication will be among that only many subordinate under one superior. Next one, we have that circular. That means in circular network, the communication moves in a circle. That means each person can communicate with is jointing of two persons. You can observe in this picture the circular, one person will communicate another two persons. It will joining. This kind of communication we can call it as a circular. And next one, we have that free flow. That means in this kind of communication, any person can freely communicate with anyone. This is called free flow communication. Can just observe in this picture that any person can communicate with anyone. There is no restriction, there is no rules and regulation. This is called free flow communication. And last communication, we have that inverted communication. That means a subordinate is allowed to communicate with immediately superior. Later on, they cannot communicate because they have to take the permission. This kind of communication we can call it as a inverted. This all you can expect it only for 1 marks in multiple choice questions. Next and last one, we have that informal communication. Here there is no formal lines of communication, and also this kind of informal communication does not designed by the higher level or a top level management. That means the communication does not takes place without following the formal lines of communication is said to be informal communication. In formal communication, we have that some rules and systematic way. But in informal communication, any person can, anyone, they can communicate. There is no restriction. It is called informal communication. Here also, we have that informal communication, grapevine network and probability network or a cluster network. These are the examples for types of informal communication. In the next class, I am going to explain you that is improve that communication effectiveness.